Hello, everyone. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Hope you guys are actually staying warm despite what everything's been going on with the weather. And hope you guys are having a wonderful, happy holidays, getting ready for the next new year coming up pretty soon. So, what I will do tonight, since I've been working a lot as of lately, I've been pretty tired, I've been pretty busy, so I really want to relax. So, I figured what I will do is draw a character of somebody relaxing and taking it easy. And I figured out maybe they're reading a book. And so I think what I'll do is have this person kind of draws like a little reclining position. And I'm just starting with a rough gesture drawing for right now. And so right now I'm not really worried about proportions at the moment. Basically what I'm more concerned about is just getting the overall gesture down. Let me bring that down just a little bit. Maybe they're reading a magazine. Let me bring their legs out a bit more. And you know what? Let's say they're probably on the beach. Yeah, let's see the beach, and they're probably the ocean's probably right behind them. And they're probably like right up against a tree, a very tiny tree. Okay, so let's go and refine our sketch a bit more here. Let's have this person's like laid back expression. So let me start with his eyes. And since they're like half, and since they're halfway and they're almost closed, instead of drawing like ovals and circles like I normally would, they're basically gonna be like little crescent shapes. And I could draw little eyebrows above that. That'll go above them, the shape of where their eyes would normally be. Their pupils, and their nose, and their mouth. Let's do their chin, their neck, let's say they're on a hot day, so they're probably gonna wear kind of like a t-shirt. This is also pretty out there. Maybe I'll give them kind of like a sun hat. Yeah, there we go. I think that looks much better. Let me draw out their arms. Let's draw their hands. Have the edge of their book start right here, at least on this side. Then we draw the other end of the book. Now where his hands curl around on the other side. In fact, let me fan it out a little bit more so it's more like a magazine rather than a full-on book. Because chances are, if you're probably reading something at the beach, chances are, like, I don't know if it is, but I probably more have a magazine rather than a book. Something that's quick, easy to read. And something to help you relax. It's that double relaxation. You relax on the beach, but you're also reading something you like, too. We first draw his shorts. You draw his feet here. Then we draw his other leg, which is kind of partially hidden behind the other one. Let's draw his foot here as well. And you know what? He had to bring that book from somewhere. He had to carry it somewhere. So maybe what I'll do is I'll draw like a backpack right here, like right next to him. Have like an oval shaped backpack where it's got a little pocket right in the middle. One big pocket, maybe a side pocket as well. Maybe these two zippers at the top. And a little handle at the top. And for him, let's say he's probably leaning against a rock. It's not a huge rock, but one that's large enough so he can rest against it. All right, that's looking pretty good. I think while we're at it, what we could probably go do is start refining our sketch. So we've already got our main sketch down with this red pen. Let's start going over the black. So what I'm going to do is start refining his expression. So you see he's got a very laid back expression. You know, he's relaxed, he's calm. And just like a lot of others, he's had a very busy, very hectic year. And he wants to have time to relax, you know, to de-stress. Because, you know, that's something you want to do, you know, like every now and then you get the chance, you know, like, you know, after really working hard and doing things you need to do and taking all the responsibilities you need to take, you want to be able to de-stress, you know, once in a while. Let me get his lips. Let me bring out the bottom of his chin a little bit more. His jawline. Let me make it a little bit shorter instead of rounder. Bring out his ears. Bring out his neck. Maybe I kind of bring out his sun hat. I think I'll make it a little bit more pointier than I have it already. And then you have little fronds at the very end. Maybe it's like a little straw hat. Let's work on his shoulders. Let me kind of get the indication line for his shoulders. Around the collar of his t-shirt. He's kind of bring out the muscles of his arms. His little shoulder muscles, his triceps and biceps. Yeah, I definitely recommend studying anatomy if you really want to get good at like kind of like drawing like muscles, human features. But like I think I mentioned in one of the other streams, it really helps you break out into like smaller shapes. Like they break down into like circles and ovals and ovaloid shapes. It makes drawing the shapes a lot easier, at least in my opinion. I think it does. So let's start working on his hands. You know, have his thumb kind of go like behind his book. Have an indentation actually bent. Have his other fingers curling around the book. You draw the little binder for the zine he's reading. Here's little curling fingers. Let me bring out the pages. Let me have a few frayed pages out because this magazine is probably a pretty thick one. I bring out his other shoulder right here. There we go. I think that's looking pretty good. Let me bring out the bottom of his shirt. Let's bring out his shorts a little bit more down here. Let's bring out his legs, especially the bottom portion. Have that curl of the meat at the bottom. I'll draw his feet. And since this is, he gets little toes right here. And since this is right foot, this little pinky toe is going to be facing towards us, right? The big one. So let's have that going. And let's start doing the other leg. And it's kind of partially hidden by that first leg we just drew. You get those toes here as well.
Kelsey, how about that? He hit that one straight out the park. And Marcus, he does it with such effortless grace.
Now that that's going, let's kind of refine the rock and backpack he's got. This big, like one big, like roundish boulder. And let's do his little book bag, or his backpack, really. Get a little handle. Get a little side. Let's get one of the little pockets. He's got a side pocket. Of course, he's gonna have his main one up here. A little button flap to kind of keep it closed. They'll put indication on this side here. I think maybe a zipper at the very top. This section where that would be. Well, I think I'll give like a smaller pouch in the middle. Have a long wide one that goes along the top of the first one. There we go. I think that's looking pretty good. So, since he's on the beach, we should have some foliage, some beach scene foliage. So I think what I'll do is draw a little small palm tree like right behind him. So let me start with a little trunk right here. Have the little fronds come out. I think I'll start with the trunk first. So basically I'm going like a spiky direction all the way down this entire trunk. Palm trees, they tend to be pretty spiky as they go all the way down. And what I'm doing is just kind of creating rows and rows of just spikes. And as I'm going down, these spikes get bigger and bigger as I go down. And they get bigger and wider because, of course, the trunk gets wider when it goes further towards the bottom. They have little circles that indicate some little coconuts. Since those are the things that end up growing from these palm trees. Now for a little palm tree fronds, or the leaves, really. These are the fun bats. So basically I'll be kind of zigzagging back and forth on all these little light lines I created. So like for this one, I'm just going back and forth. I'm zigzagging, but I'm also going in a certain direction. In a diagonal direction, really. And I'll be doing the same on the other side. Once I get to the end, I kind of come to a point in the middle, kind of a round point, since these palm trees are very like round like edges when they come together. I'm gonna do the same for this one right here. Just going to curve zigzag position. And I'll do repeat for this one here. Now I want to make these prongs like bigger, since he wants to get some shade, he's going to want to be against somebody that's going to provide him with some shade. So as I keep adding more, I'm just going to try to make some more that are actually bigger. That's one here. Let's add another one right here. Let's add another one here. I think how this one overlaps on the ones I've already done. So I'll put one right here in the middle. I have a tinier one here. I have one go at the top up here. So I'm just going that zigzagging position, like going along these lines. And since now that we got our main shapes here, I think what we can do now, start making it a little more interesting. Let's add a little bit more shading. So instead of using that black one, I think I'll go and use this blue one right here. I think what I'll do is go and start on the edge of this rock right here. And I'll start going with these long but uniform, like straight lines. And I decided my lights was going to be somewhere over here on the right side. So of course all my shadows are going to be on the left. Have a shadow here. I might have gonna have Lear on the bottom because since he's resting against it, he's gonna be casting a shadow against that rock. So I'm gonna have that little bit darker right underneath here. And a tiny bit right here for that little shadow. There we go. Let's do a little bit of cross-hatching action. So we're gonna go across the opposite direction. There we go. I think I'll do the same for the book bag as well. I think I'll decide, have this whole side right here, like in shadow. Yes, since everything's in the palm tree here, I think I can go a little bit darker with some of these shadows. In fact, I can make it even darker on the black later on, but we'll get to the black just a little bit when we get to it. Right now, I just kind of want to do everything with the blue for right now. So let's just darken these shadows some more. Just darken them some more. All going like this single, like cross-hatching position. Yeah, then shine underneath the book bag here. As I'm going further around, I'm using less and less pressure as I'm going further away. Make kind of add a little shadow underneath the pockets. I think we're adding this little corner right here. Do the same for this top pocket up here. There we go. There we go. That's looking pretty good. I think what I'll go and do is start shading the tree too. So I'm gonna start shading on this side. Just going all along the left side, just putting that in shadow. think as I'm doing, I think I'll kind of bring out some of these spikes a little bit more too. Have them curl out a little bit more. There we go. That looks more. That looks much better. Because even though palm tree trunks they tend to be spiky, they're not like cactus spiky. It's not like you brush against it, you'll prick yourself. Unless you slam right into them, that's probably a different story. But if you just touch them, you should be okay. You know what? I think I'll draw some extra ferns at the bottom too, just for extra measure. Just add some extra foliage. Let me add some Shanty's little coconuts at the bottom. Well, sorry, at the top. Forget my directions here. Let me just shade these, kind of go in a circular motion. Do the same for this one. I think what I'll do is I'll go over these little palm leaves a little bit more, make some of them a little bit more defined. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have a reference me on hand at the moment, so I'm kind of going from memory. Which, by the way, there's nothing wrong with using a reference, by the way. I'm just going to go around these shapes. You know, I actually kind of like how that looks. I think I'll do it for all of them. I'm just going to go over these direction lines I've already made, these little zigzagging patterns. Because here's these big, long, like palm tree fronds. You can fan yourself with one of these. Let me get these over here. Let me kind of shade the inside of this one a little bit. Because I figure all of them are not going to get equal light. So these are going to be more in the shadow. Do the same for this one too. Let me get these two bottom leaves right over here. Well, let me shade that over here. That's a little too bright in the center. Let me get this palm here. Okay, now that we got our tree, our rock and our book bag, like ready to go and that's shaded. Let's start working on relaxer here, our main guy. So let me just start, with his neck at the corner. I'm gonna start shading on the side of his neck. I'm also gonna come down underneath his jaw. Because of course, his chin, that is gonna cast a shadow. Shading his ear. I think also deep shading, like going down with his eyes too. Since he's got that big hat on, that's gonna be in the shadow as well. Shade on the side of his chin. It's all his jawline. Shade around his nose. And as I'm shading, I'm normally starting very light as I'm getting progressively darker and darker, as I add more pressure. Let me start shading in his muscles. As I'm shading, I'm just going to shape, of his arms. Just going right along the shape of his arms. Just cross hatching. You can tell by his pose, he's relaxed, he's nice and warm, he's enjoying himself. He's not free as hell like a lot of other folks here in the States are. By the way, if you do live here in the States, I hope you guys are actually doing okay. Because I know there's a lot of places right now that are still without water. Some places are on and off. Some people are stuck in the cold. So hopefully you guys are out there staying safe and actually keeping warm like I am. Let me make these shells a little bit darker here. Make them darker on the edges. You can see as I'm starting light, I'm getting progressively darker and darker as I finally know what shells I want to put down. Make this a little bit darker. Darker. There we go. There we go. Wonderful. I think I'll shade the side of his hands here. Shade the side of his thumb. Get the underside of his arm here. Let me shade his shirt. Make sure I get kind of dark in that little corner pocket here. Because I think for his shirt, I think I'll have it be kind of like a darker shade altogether. So in fact, what I'll go ahead and do, first I'll go over a whole uniform straight of lines. Uniform fill of lines, what I meant to say. And I'll just start this corner, I'll just fan my way out. There we go. There we go. I'll do the same right here in this little corner. Also, almost forgot, let me go and get his hat. I think I'll start in this little section right here. Start back pressure, I'll go further out. I think I'll go a little darker here since this area is definitely going to be in shadow. Just go a little bit darker. And the rest of this is also in shadow as well, but I'll start with doing kind of a light shade to begin with because keep in mind this is all getting shadowed by this little palm tree right here. In fact, let me add some extra shading up here at the very top of this rock. Since this rock is being shaded by the palm tree as well. So there we go. I'm just gonna go very light. Start with very light layers. And once I got one layer down, I'll go over for another layer that's a little more pressure. I think I'll add some extra fronds on the side, since it's a straw hat. Let me darken these shadows underneath here a bit, especially towards his eyes. So let me kind of bring these out a little bit more. All right. Let me go and get this book right here. Let me get this one side shaded in. And have this all be in shadow. I think for this one, I think I'll have this start being fairly dark. I'll do the same deal like I did the other areas here. You don't know what type of magazine he's looking at. Maybe he's looking at magazine from the local area, from the local store. Maybe he's looking at 10 of the things he wants to do. because you can clearly see the dude's on vacation. I know there's quite a few out there probably looking forward to doing vacation for yourselves. I know I'm long overdue for one myself. Just make this nice and even. Then we start shading around the shade around here. I'm gonna go very light. I'm not gonna add too much. This area is facing towards the light. I don't want to do too much here on this side. So I'm just gonna go very little on this side since it's facing the light. I think what I will do is I will go and color in this binder. I think I'll have this be all completely dark. There we go. All right, let me go and start coloring in his legs. Like I said before, I'm going along the shape, of his body, the shape of his muscles, and the shape of the folds in his clothes. And once again, I really hope everyone's had a really great holiday season so far. Yeah, I'm always surprised, Christmas has already kind of came and went. Now New Year's is right on the corner. Yeah, I honestly don't really have that much planned for New Year's. Mainly the only thing I got really going on is I do like a housewarming event. I recently moved to my first new place early this past October, and I haven't had a chance to really celebrate. So I'm gonna be doing it for this upcoming New Year's. Something simple, but something that I think is really significant. Yeah, I don't necessarily have to go out to a huge party in order to celebrate. We're not gonna spend it at home, with relatives and friends that I love. Sometimes the simplicity is always the best thing. Yeah, but then there are times where if you want to go have a party, have a great time, hey, that's great as well. You kind of get underneath this leg a bit here. Let me add a little shadow down here. Bring this more in shadow. Since this book's gonna be in the way. I think what I'll go ahead and do now. Let me make sure I get the shadow underneath where he's sitting. Let's make that pretty dark. Make that pretty dark here at the corner where this rock is. I think what I'll do is the shadow kind of go out from the book bag and from the palm tree as well. And kind of bring out the ground. Since it's on the beach, the ground's gonna be kind of sandy. So a lot of lumpy areas. Okay, I think it's looking pretty good here. So I think what I'll go ahead and do now. Let's go back with our black pen again. Let me kind of make some of these areas a little bit dark with some of the shading. So I think what I will do, I think I'll start with our hat here. I'm just gonna go over the black, make it just a little bit darker. And since I've already established all the shading and shadows I've put down, now I'm just gonna be highlighting, accentuating them with the other two pens that I have. As I'm doing, I'm gonna be adding more detail. Let me just kind of add some extra little stray strands at the end of this straight. Ooh, excuse me. A few stray hairs of this straw hat. You bring the ears out here, make that a little bit more pronounced. Let me bring out his eyes a bit more. Bring out his nose. Kind of go around his arms. Even as I'm going down, I'm also going to be outlining this guy too, so I want this guy pretty thick outlines. So thick outlines here on his little triceps, biceps, forgot which kind it is. Just really light adjustments, really light marks. You get around the bottom of his shirt, get right here. And he also really darken these shadows behind him, the shadow that he's casting. Make that dark. You get the bottom of his legs, his rear. Get that here, get that here. I think while we're going to darken the handle around his little backpack here. Kind of bring out the outline here. So now, because I realize it's kind of blending into the rock a little bit more. So let me kind of add these outlines so I can bring it back out. And this is why I don't tend to like to use like thick outline, because I usually like to have all my elements kind of pop against each other, because I don't want them to all blend into the background too much. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Good. Let me bring out these ferns a little bit more. There we go. Good. Let me get underneath his legs again. We get that deep shadow underneath. Shade right here where his fingers are. You know, I think what I will go ahead and do now, I think I've done good with, this black one. Let me come back with this red one a bit. Kind of really warm things up. As I'm going over my shadows I've made, I'm just using like very minor touches. I'm going over everything very lightly, not trying to do too much, because I've already done a bunch of already. Just very light touches.
I did it. You did it.
You did it. And then now everything has like a purplish look, which is what I'm really liking so far. Add some more shading around his pants. Oh, it's a little thicker than I would have intended to be. I can blend those out. I can blend out those lines. I'm just going to go over these legs a few more times. I'm going to go to the side of his backpack. And I think we're doing pretty good as far as like you drawing him. So another thing I will add, since I already got the guy reading, and I already got the palm tree for shade, and I got the rock he's resting on. Since he's on the beach, let's finish actually drawing the beach. So what I'm going to do is actually draw our horizon line for the ocean. Let's say the ocean, at least the waves, they're probably right here. And I do want to do these long, like wavy lines to indicate all the water coming in. I think what I will do is start at the top. I think I'll start going in these, excuse me, start going across in these horizontal, like bold strokes. I'm gonna start pretty thick at the top. I'm gonna start fanning my way as I start going towards the bottom. Because usually when you look at the ocean floor, the ocean water, usually the deeper it gets, the darker it tends to look. You know, the shallower it is, the lighter it tends to look. So that's what I'm gonna do here. You know, I think I will add a little bit of cross hatching here as well. And I'm going across the whole horizon line. Or eye level, basically. I'll do the same, go in the other direction.
Great deals no matter where you order Kroger pickup. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Are you a local Atlanta business owner, organization, or creator looking to bring your content to life? If so, I have the perfect space for you. Adone Media. Adone Media is a full service.
And let's go with them a few more horizon lines. I think what I'll also do is actually really indicate some extra waves, have a few darker ones in the middle. You know what? I think what I will do, since I'm working on this ocean floor, let me add a little boat off in the distance. And I think I'll have it be like a yacht. It's gonna be a nice little yacht here with a huge sail. Add a little bit more color to this ocean. Let me make it a little bit darker. Make it darker over here.
It's getting colder, and Burlington, you know, the place for coats, will keep you warm, looking great.
Okay.
Save you a ton of
You know what?
now more than ever.
I honestly think that looks pretty good. You know what? Let me go over this black pen again at the very top for the top horizon line. Or eye level, really. That's what's really called. Let me make that a little bit more pronounced, a little bit more even.
You'll love the deals. You'll love Burlington. Wow.
And I think we're actually done with this one. So I think we can officially call this relaxing. Since that's what this guy is doing, that's what we're calling this one, relaxing. All right, so we might have time to do another one for tonight. So now that we're done with that one, let's do something else. You know, that what I think I'll do is do another headshot, little character headshot. So let's start with a circle for our cranium shape. Let's map the area where our eyes are going to be, our nose, and where our mouth is going to be too. Let's use an ovaloid shape to match where the chin and jawline is going to be. Let's have their ears be right here, and our neck here. And let's draw our eyes. I think what I'm going to do is go for more of an ovaloid shape this time around. And to have it go at an angle this time. Be small ovaloid like egg shapes. Do our eyebrows. Let's have our nose in. I think I'll give us more of a pointier nose. Let's give him more of a warm smile. Let's bring out his lip. Let's bring out his pupils. And for the side of his face, let's bring out the side of his face. Let's bring out his cheeks. Let's say he doesn't have too pronounced cheeks, but he does have a pretty strong jawline and a pretty strong chin. Let's bring his ears out a little more, have him jut out a bit. I think I'll give kind of a squarish look to one too, almost like elf ears. And I wonder what type of hair do I want to give him? Yeah, I'll give this person maybe long hair. I think that looks pretty good. Yeah, I think we got something here. Let's roll with this. Funny enough, he almost with his long arms like Loki a little bit now. So since now that I got these features actually ready to go, let's start refining them. I think I'll start with this our pointed nose here. Let me make these nostrils a bit more pronounced. Maybe make the mouth, bring out the mouth a bit more. Maybe bring out his chin, the cleft of his chin. His pointed jawline. Let's bring out his eyes. And for his eyebrows, I think I'll keep his fairly thin this go around. I know I tend to draw pretty thick eyebrows, but I think I'll go some thin ones this time. Let's get these strands of hairs going. Because I have one Muppet that kind of goes right over his forehead. Because one thing you gotta remember with hair is that it has to rest on top of the skull. So that's something to keep in mind if you're worried about your hair looking too small or looking too big for that person. I think that looks pretty good. Now, shading. So I'm gonna start our light switch to be over here. Our shot's gonna be opposite side. So I think I'll start with his forehead right here. Just gonna go over his whole side lightly in red. Gonna shade right here where his eye socket is. A little darker here. There we go. And you got the shadow underneath this little chin right here. There we go. Like I mentioned before, I'm just kind of starting with one layer. I'm progressively getting darker and darker. Add more pressure as I go further ahead. And sorry if I sound a little tired tonight. I had a pretty busy day early today. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. So now I'm gonna go back over, with our blue pen again. In fact, come to think, I think I'll give this guy blue eyes.
For real. He ain't just down to fade away. You know what? It's actually kind of cute.
Then we go and color those pupils in. Then color in his eyebrows, his thin eyebrows. Of course, having his eyelashes. And for the shading, you know what? I'll start with the areas I know are gonna be the darkest. So I'll start with his little eye socket here. We'll start shading that out. His other eye socket here as well, along the shadow from the bridge of his nose. And we get the shadow of his nose right here, and underneath his nostrils. And I'm just lightly going over the areas I've already covered. Let me get underneath that chin again. Really bring it out. I think what I'll go ahead and do, since I know his hair is gonna be a darker color, let me like outline his hair for the curves. Let me add this bit in shadow. And I'll just lightly go over it for a very light layer of long horizontal, diagonal strokes, really, in this case. So he's got long, flaming locks. Yeah, so I'm basically coloring his whole hair right now. I think I'll be a dark, maybe he's either dark brown or he's got a dirty blonde. But it's not gonna be too dark. Yeah, let's start a little bit heavier on these shadows here on this side. Gonna make these a bit more darker. So I really want that good, like extra contrast. And that's all the tip, to keep in mind whenever you're shadowing. Like, don't be afraid to go dark when you need to. Having that contrast can really make a difference. Like, even see, for example, like here, it's almost a complete like dark blue right here. That's where I have all the pressure right here. And I'm just fanning it out from there. But even that adds a huge difference that compared to, say, if I just kind of left it a very light color like this. Let me bring out his nose a little bit more. Let me bring out the bottom of his lip. Yeah, really it's kind of blending into the background a little bit more, so let me bring it back out. There we go. Thing I'm going to do now, still have some extra shading to the hair. And this time I'm going to add strokes to go in the shape of the flow of his hair. Have some little strands of hair right here. You can bring out the ear a little bit more. Let's darken the shading of his chin a little bit more. Really get that extra contrast. There you go. And see how much darker how that darker color makes a huge difference. There we go. Add some more shading here on this other side of his head. Oh, that's looking all right. So I think what I'll go and do now is go back over some of these shadings with the black and really get that good contrast going. Let me add the little extra irises and size little pupils. Let me bring out his eyebrows. There's stray hands of hair. Bring out his eyeballs a little bit more. His long hook nose. Let me get some of these extra shadows, go a little bit darker. Being more bold with my color choices here. Put this eye more in shadow. I think as I'm doing this, I'm actually just start outlining him as well. Just to really make him pop against the background. Let me bring down his chin more. Make it more pronounced. Let's go underneath his chin, bring out that jawline. They bring out those ears. And really starting some more darker shades to his hairs. I think we're almost done here. So what I think I will do now, let me go over some of the shadings we've already done. We come back with that red and really kind of like accentuate those shades we've already put down. Kind of bring it out in red. I think I'll add a little shadow here for the hair, right along the edges over here. There we go. I like to use red because I feel red tends to really make everything come to life. In a way, as I'm shading and adding more color to it, I'm kind of sculpting in a way too. Because I'm bringing out the shapes of their nose, the eye sockets, the direction of their cheeks. It's all things to keep in mind, especially when drawing the facial structure of a person. There we go. We add a little more to his cheek. I think I'll make it a little bit redder for his bottom lip. Again, at the bottom of his neck and along his ears. And honestly, I think we are just about done here for today. Now, what am I going to name this guy? Honestly, this guy, you know what? He seems more like an Adam, so we'll call him Adam. All right, so that's 2 pictures we've done for tonight. So we've recently finished up with Adam, and we've also done relaxing as well. So that's 2 pictures for the price of 1 session. I hope you guys really enjoyed watching me draw these 2 pictures. And guys, I hope you have a wonderful, happy New Year, happy holidays, and you all have a wonderful, wonderful night.